Hinduism has had a beautiful and very long history of encouraging the arts and embracing the arts as a way of expressing that love of the divine. There's some things that just can't be explained in words. There are some feelings, there are some emotions, there's some devotion that simply needs to be expressed in a way that transcends the limitations of language. And so these expressions of devotion may take the form of a particular dance or a particular song which recounts the glories of the divine, which takes the various names of God, which remembers the lives of great saints or great devotees, or which tell or narrate or depict various stories, various pastimes, various narratives that bring the devotee closer in their remembrance and their smaranam of the divine. One of the most beautiful aspects of the Diwali celebration is the ability to honor traditions and to stay faithful in some ways to rituals that have been passed down from generation to generation for, according to the tradition, thousands of years. And at the same time, to embrace change and evolution and development, to welcome in new traditions and to pay homage to the changing times, as well as the fact that the Hindu community has grown outside of the borders of India. And so one of the things that we really wanted to do with the Diwali at the Chapel celebration specifically was to really make it a celebration of East meeting West, to really make it an opportunity to explore what happens when cultures come together, not in conflict, not in competition, not even in contrast, but in collaboration, in harmony, in a spirit of bringing the best of both worlds together for the same purpose, for the purpose of uniting to please, to serve, and to glorify the divine. And so we brought together chanters representing a venerable tradition from India, playing traditional Indian instruments and calling out Sanskrit mantras, and brought them together with the Princeton University Chapel Choir, representing a great tradition of spirituality through music, of glorifying the divine through voice from the Western tradition. And just to see those two come together, I think is really, speaks volumes about what Diwali is really all about, and essentially what Hinduism is about. This idea of the external giving way to something far deeper, to something transcendent, to something that rises above the various designations, the various labels, the various ways we separate ourselves, and while celebrating and appreciating differences, unites us all on the common spiritual platform. Central to Hindu spirituality, there's an idea that the divine, God, and his name are, in one sense, spiritually one. That in sincerely calling out the names of the divine, in chanting these sacred sounds in Sanskrit, what's called mantra, we can actually invoke divine presence in our own lives, in the world around us. So with this idea in mind, the Hindu tradition places great emphasis on a practice known as kirtan, or devotional chanting. This is often accompanied with musical instruments, joyous singing, clapping, sometimes even dancing. And the idea is that essentially everything that we have, everything that we possess is a gift from God. Our voices, our ability to play various musical instruments, the bodies that house us, the spiritual beings, all of these are gifts from God, and all of them can be and should be used in glorification of the divine. And so this practice of kirtan, or of chanting the holy names, allows us to use the medium of sound as a way of connecting with the divine, as a way of of building a bridge, if you will, to that divine, that spiritual world. And so the great Hindu commentators and teachers explain that when one chants with a sincere, pure heart in that mood of a child calling out for the protection and love of its parent, then certainly it captures the attention of the divine. And at such a time, in such a place, the divine is actually present.